What is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning into another edition of On the Road to Victory. I am your host, Jimmy Smith, and I appreciate you taking the time on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. It's about nighttime here, sun is down, and look, we were talking about this, all week about the fact that Jalen Hurts, obviously you don't want to re-injure his shoulder, it's his throwing shoulder, all these things that are going into it, but he's gotten 2 weeks rest. One of the things we didn't want is him getting rusty, a month out, all these different scenarios, all this stuff going on. And everybody talking about Gardner Minshew, he sucks or he's great, or it's so many different narratives going on. And at the end of the day, all that matters is we're waiting for this moment where Jalen Hurts returns and shows everyone why he is the MVP. So yes, indeed, my man, Brandon, he's back. So Mike Garafolo said earlier today that he will be starting tomorrow, that it looks like he has had a great week of practice and the Eagles are planning to start him tomorrow. Now, the hope is that we beat the living hell out of them and then we can rest our starters. And that's something we've been talking about, right? Even before that Saints game, I told you this. Look, I think that either way, even if we had clinched it last week, I would play Jalen Hurts in this game for at least the first half, go smoke him, and then let him rest. But that's just because I didn't want him out a month without work, without his linemen and everything. So receivers, tight ends, everything, So I think that this is a blessing in disguise. He gets to come back. We got to see how much he is the most valuable player. And, when he returns to form, I think we're really going to go put a hurting on them. And then, look, we can rest him. He gets a little bit of work in, but doesn't re-aggravate anything. And then we get that bye week, rest everybody up. So I'm excited. Let's go, Nina. Appreciate you tuning in. Let's go. We've got our man back at quarterback. Some excitement to go around here because, look, they've been slandering this team. Apparently in this past 2 weeks, everybody just, we fell off. We're the worst team ever. And look, Lane Johnson putting off surgery. He's coming back. We got C.J. Gardner-Johnson back. We got Robert Quinn back. Sweat will be hopefully back. Avonte Maddox hopefully back for the playoffs. We'll see exactly when, but I'm optimistic. Even if these guys don't, the depth pieces have had time. They've got to step in. They've had to do things. So I think for me, it let people keep sleeping. This is still the best team in the league. So regardless, hey, we've talked about this. We knew he'd be playing, and there's no more probable tag. So that's something I try to explain all week. This guy's going to play. It's just, they want to spin their narratives. Let them do so. 3 weeks from the injury, by the time the game starts, brother, full recovery time. Well, my point is that, you want him to not get rusty. So what I'm saying is you don't want him to not play. I know he's going to be good to go, but you want him to play because you want him to be on the same page with his offensive lineman. You saw how they were with Gardner Minshew, all kinds of stupid penalties that you probably wouldn't see, but just not on the same page. So now they get on the same page with Gardner, and then he comes back, and I don't want to see that during the playoffs. I want to see that right now. I want to see you working things out in this Giants game. There are some mistakes. Okay, that's fine. That's what the regular season is for. So all the losses we've had, all of the tough games, it all comes together here. We go into this playoff game, and I know a lot of people wanted to rush Hurts back, but one of the things I had to stress is his future, okay? As much as I want to win right now and clinch, last week, I also don't want nerve damage, and I don't want this to be a long-lasting thing, ruin his career. So very excited that we took the smart approach. And look, I understand we don't want to be in this situation. Everybody, we shouldn't even have to play for this. And it's like, look, if it were a 17-week, 16-game regular season still, we would have already had it locked up a long time ago. So to me, it is what it is, right? Let them, again, keep hating, keep sleeping. It doesn't matter to me, man. We knew our champion MVP quarterback would be back, and he's going to take us to the promised land. Keep sleeping. Hell yeah, he will, man. He will. Look, and I think, Avonte Maddox will be back too. So, they said that he was day-to-day. So for me, I'm excited that he could come back in the playoffs. And, so that's a possibility too. So you've got Avonte possible. Lane Johnson, I'm scared for him because he's just putting off surgery and he's just going to be paying through, a lot of pain. So that's scary. The damn thing's just hanging off here. So it's like, okay, putting off surgery, try to go win a Super Bowl. And look, I love the dude. I thought Jack Driscoll did all right. I know a lot of people wanted to cut him after that game. I thought he did a lot better than most people thought. He did have his mistakes. Nobody's Lane Johnson. But for me, I'm confident in this team. I know everybody wants to fire somebody each week, cut somebody, but Josiah Scott, he's had his downs, but he's definitely had his ups too. So Reed Blankenship stepping in. These guys, they got to do what they can when you're missing, CJ Gardner-Johnson, Avonte Maddox. I think those are huge pieces. So let people keep hating as these pieces keep coming back, and then they'll be back to being the best. I'm my favorite team ever. It's like, I thought you just said they were one and done. What happened? Agree, let the starters get some momentum going toward the playoffs. And I mean, yeah, exactly. So for me, it's been so many different injuries. You get your right tackle out, your quarterback's been out now last couple of weeks. You're missing big pieces on defense. I just mentioned. I think there's a lot to be said about getting on the same page, and I don't think it takes a long time. I just would rather get that kind of stuff out during the first half of a regular season game, right? And it is an important game, right? So we got to go out, whoop their ass, show who we are to ourselves. We don't have to prove it to anybody else. They just got to go out here, show who they are, and get back on the same page. And I think we'll be dominating. And then you get that week of practice and rest, and you just watch the other teams. You know what you're going up against. And I think let them keep sleeping. Everybody wants to fire Jonathan Gannon for having a top 3 defense. And I'm just sitting here like, thank God we have a top 3 defense. And I want, Jalen Hurts to come back and show that we have not only like a top 3 offense, but one of the best, man, maybe top 2. Do you want to talk about the Chiefs, whatever, Bills? That's great. But dude, this offense, it's pretty scary with Jalen Hurts at the helm. So get excited, ladies and gentlemen. But that's all I've got for you right now. Just wanted to let you know that it definitely is looking that way. And if Mike Garafolo is reporting on that, then we should definitely take that with a huge grain of salt. So let's go. Hope you're all having yourselves a great weekend. We just went over the practice squad elevations, updated depth charts, game status report update, all that stuff a little bit ago. So go check that video out if you're looking for any of that information. But this is just to get you excited. And look, I think that we all knew this move was coming. But, when you hear it from someone like that, very, very excited. So I'm pumped up about it. Very pumped. They say Lane Johnson's ejections the last 4 weeks, so it'll be many players have played final season with the injury, including now will be 85. I wish I could agree with you, Devin, but I am friends with his trainer, and he will not be 85, 90% when he plays. So look, it's scary, but I'm just going to hope that he stays healthy, and I think that he's one of the toughest SOBs, and that's the reason this offseason when they said the Eagles were the next Jets, the next Browns, and I made that report when I got to go to the practice. I said, what are you talking about? This is a championship team. Jalen Hurts is definitely developing. I don't know. They're talking about getting sacked by ghosts. And one of the things I brought up was Lane Johnson is probably in the best shape of his life. And he's most dominant I've ever seen him in his career. And dude, he really has been this year, and not giving up a sack in 2 years. That's huge. But unfortunately, I reached out right away when, this was going down. And when I reported on it, I told you guys, I'll tell you what I can, but not exactly the most optimistic here. So we got to just hope that this dude stays healthy. And they're doing everything they can. The exact words thrown at me, we're throwing the kitchen sink at him. So they're going to do everything they can to have him as healthy as they can for this game. So excited, man. Let's just hope that everybody stays healthy. Him, everybody else. Let's go. All about it. You and me both, my man. But that's all I've got for you guys. I do have to get going. If you guys need anything, you can reach out. If you want to keep talking about it, comment down below. I'm always down to talk some birds. But I will be back tomorrow for the pregame show. We'll talk about the inactives, everything else you need to know. But if anything crazy happens, I will return. But until next time, I am Jimmy Smith. I hope you're all having yourselves a fantastic weekend. This is On the Road to Victory. But until next time, you all stay safe out there. See you tomorrow, and as always, go Birds!